Al-salam alaikum, habibis. No, wait. That's not my intro. Witam, towarzysze, to jest Polinkazh. And today, I just want to do this before we start the video because I just want to explain further what the fuck we're doing. So basically, me, my friend Renegade, and Finbol have decided to start a series together about PragerU. We're going to be covering every single PragerU video in podcast format. And on occasion, if I deem that a video is important enough, I might do just an entirely edited video on my own. But for now, we're just going to be doing this in a podcast format. So please enjoy. And yeah, thanks. Witam, towarzysze, to jest Polinkazh. And today I'm doing a video about PragerU. And I'm here with my two friends. You guys can introduce yourselves.
Renegade, you first.
The Red Renegade.
I'm the video.
Yeah, you probably know that guy. And we're just going to be watching a few PragerU videos and just fucking breaking them down. So here we go.
When people describe particularly evil individuals or regimes, why is it that they use the terms Nazi or fascist, but almost never communist?
Oh yeah, never. Nobody ever says any that shit about communism. Never.
Yeah, the black book of communism is not a thing, and fucking Timothy Schneider is not a thing either.
Yeah, no one ever criticizes communism ever. Not even in the Liberal or Democratic Party. Matter of fact, it didn't even exist. What even is communism?
Given the unparalleled amount of human suffering communists have caused, why is
citation needed?
Communist so much less a term of revulsion than Nazi? Communists killed 70 million people in China, more than 20 million people in the Soviet
Once again, citations fucking needed.
Union, not including
probably
about
for the
5 million Ukrainians. Almost 1 out of every 3 Cambodians. And
okay, hold on. Cambodia, this is such a great fucking thing because the rightists will always bring up Cambodia without even realizing that both the UN and the US government supported fucking Pol Pot's government.
Yeah, and Thatcher's UK as well. Like.
Yeah, and it was actually the fucking Vietnamese and Laotian communists who kicked him out. Like, they were the ones who fucking kicked him out of power.
Yeah, I mean, like, in those numbers, like, the only one that's close to correct is Cambodia because I think it is, like, 1/4 of the country that died.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Jason.
Jason
made a video about this like a really long time ago, where he basically explained that like, several million people died because of like, U.S. bombings, famine, like just like chaos of the Civil War. But like, we know like Pol Pot killed a bunch of people, but he only shot like 70,000 people. Like, he didn't shoot millions. Like, he was just like, when he came to power, the country was already in ruins. People were already dying like flies. And like, sure, he was an incompetent leader, but you know,
yeah, no, he was still really a terrible fucking guy, and he had really stupid ideas. But I mean,
yeah, he had this
highly misleading to say that like it's
he had this weird like primitivist like fucking.
Anti-glasses
fucking view of communism, like kind of this primitive communism bullshit.
He wasn't even a communist. If he ever claimed he was a Marxist, it was purely political. He didn't actually believe in Marxist theory. He was fully just a fucking nationalist, pretty much, like a primitive.
Yeah, but
nationalist.
it's still really misleading to claim that the amount of people died had like it was out of his hands. Like it was just like beyond his control, pretty much. Like even if he had killed more people, it wouldn't really have made much of a difference in like the bigger picture.
And it's important to say too that even after Pol Pot's government was kicked out and replaced with a democratic government, the UN still supported his seat in the fucking UN, his government seat. So it's just like fucking God.
Yeah, like who? I don't know, like where these people think like no one. First of all, no communist that. Well, I mean, some of them do, but no communist I know like has ever like taken Pol Pot and say, yeah, that's someone we fucking look
He's
at.
a good
like,
guy.
Yeah, like everyone fucking dislikes Pol Pot. Literally everyone. No one fucking wants to claim that shit. Not even the fucking Nazis. The fucking no one wants to claim that shit because that was kind of an anomaly of fucking. Pol Pot was just a fucking anomaly, if anything.
Yeah.
Communists enslaved entire nations in Russia.
Wait, okay.
Okay, okay. I want to bring this
time.
point up. They say this constantly. Communists enslaved people, but they never define that.
Yeah, they never
does that
they never
mean?
say what
Yeah,
they
you know
mean
who
by
actually
slavery.
fucking had slaves? The U.S. Like,
Not only that, but like if we want to get into Marxist theory, like how do they justify wage slavery? Like how do they fucking justify that?
Yeah, because like I mean, if we want to fucking if we're gonna play the fucking definition game, we could say that fucking capitalists enslaves millions or fucking billions actually.
Yeah.
well,
But like,
since
they
we
never
are now.
they don't define slavery. Like, oh, enslaved. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, since we're now like diving right into the essence of what is PragerU, we're like getting the full Prager experience. Like, what you have to understand that this is just the Prager MO. Is to just like state things with no further explanation or evidence or anything. They just basically say things like, "Oh, communism did this," and that's you're just supposed to accept it.
Yeah, cool thing is when you go into their fucking description, nothing is sourced.
Oh yeah,
Except their fucking website.
It's literally just a think tank. No fucking sources, no citations. It's just all.
Well,
fucking...
like that's how this is because like I mean I don't want to be too theoretical here, but like when Marx talks about like the prevailing ideology of a given society, like in a capitalist society, the prevailing ideology is the capitalist ideology. Like. Basically, what that means is that since all the media is capitalist, all the education is capitalist, the prevailing ideology is capitalist. So, if you're putting forth the mainstream capitalist argument, then you don't really have to source it. People will generally just accept it because that's the standard
the
prevailing
liberal,
idea.
Yeah, the liberal idea is just the. It's what is accepted.
That's that's the accepted orthodoxy in the society. But then we, on the other hand, if we make some kind of argument, because we're coming from the outside,
we gotta source everything.
We have to constantly explain ourselves. We have to constantly explain our terms. And
why can't the liberals be met with the same sort of skepticism?
Yeah, and when it comes to like the burden of proof, like who has to provide evidence, it should be like burden of proof should be on the one who makes the claim. Like now PragerU makes the claim like, oh, communism enslaves people, but the burden of proof is actually shifted from them to the communists because well, not because that's how logic works, but just because of how ideology works.
It's because of our position, really.
Yeah, like the minority has to always
we have to
argue their case.
Exactly, and obviously their case is accepted. And I think that goes to another thing. I don't think PragerU makes these videos for us. They make these videos for conservatives.
Yeah, no, they definitely all their videos are communist oriented.
This is just for conservatives to be able to put their dumbass fucking views into words.
Oh yeah, no, it's confirmation bias entirely.
I'll say one thing that's really funny. Like every now and then, people tell me like, "Oh, I was watching this video you made, and I got a PragerU ad on the before the video because they pay like PragerU is like huge, so they pay serious money to actually have ads on other videos. So like, and I just think it's so funny because." Yeah, probably they think that because they're both like related to communism, so they put the ads there. But like, could you imagine?
Before you watch this pro-Marxist video, watch some PragerU.
Yeah, like, could you imagine a bigger waste of money? Like, literally nobody in my audience is gonna like PragerU. Like, no chance.
Yeah. I've actually personally gone to PragerU like videos when I see them on your channel, and I actually like dislike them. Fucking comment on them. I'm like, it's so gay. But
all right,
Vietnam, China, Eastern Europe, North Korea, Cuba, and much of Central Asia. They ruined the lives of well over 1 billion people.
Oh yeah, educating them, giving them food, giving them fucking like healthcare, making them like healthy, making them happy. Yeah, that's fucking ruining the lives of billions of people.
Oh yeah. Moving on.
So why doesn't communism have the same terrible reputation as Nazism? Reason number one, there is, simply put, widespread ignorance of the communist record.
You're not
Oh
wrong.
God!
You're not wrong.
The irony of that statement is,
Yeah, I think it's lost on them. Go on. Let's hear what they have to say.
Both right and left loathe Nazism and teach its evil history. The left, and I'm talking about the left, not traditional liberals like Harry Truman or John F. Kennedy, has never loathed communism. And
well,
okay, I have to ask, what left is he talking about? Because he doesn't really define them. He just says, not these guys, but everyone else.
But every
and
other
first of all,
left.
he says that the right has always loathed Nazism, and whatever. That's not true.
Which is not even really true. Like, there were plenty, even during the fucking war, there were plenty of Nazi sympathizers in the UK and US government. So much so that actually, after the war ended, a lot of Nazi scientists and government officials were actually recruited by the CIA to work within the U.S. government. There's a whole book about this. I forgot what it's called, but I'll probably link it in the description.
Yeah, everybody
if I
should
can find it.
Google Operation Paperclip. I think that's what it was called.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Is that what it was called?
It could have been. I don't know. I don't remember, but yeah. So that's not entirely true that the right has always fucking loathed fucking Nazism. It's just a complete lie.
No.
And since the left dominates academia, almost no one teaches communism's evil history.
Yeah, like this is why everybody thinks that communism is great, and this is why like you never hear any kind of bad shit about communism because because it's like the academia and everything is just run by communists.
Everybody
like,
just says that communism
Like,
is
I have
great
to
all
ask
the
Daniel
time.
Prager,
Like,
are
what
you
the hell?
living in... I have to ask Daniel Prager, are you living in the same country I am?
Yeah, like that's why in the U.S. there's two parties and both of them are communist. Oh wait, they're actually both really anti-communist. Like,
Yeah, it's
I
as
mean, I'm
if-
sure PragerU thinks that Democrats are communist, but like, I mean, a while back there was a Finnish comrade who was telling me how he used to be a Nazi. Like years ago, he used to be, or maybe not a Nazi, but far right is what he said. And like, he told me that he kind of got out of it when he realized that like part of the far right narrative is that there's all this communist propaganda everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And then he realized, like, wait, actually there's no pro-communist propaganda anywhere. Like, actually communism is constantly slandered, constantly attacked, constantly lied about. So
Yeah, it's
Well,
as
here's-
if Dennis
well, here's-
Prager's living in
well,
the
here-
DPRK.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like this kind of goes back to the fact that Daniel Prager and the conservatives need to present themselves as victims. They need to present themselves as the underdog. They have to present themselves as the alternative opinion rather than the mainstream one. Otherwise, they're not going to get their fucking cool street cred.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
if
another
you didn't see me
anecdote.
cross my arms while I did that like a gangster.
Like, another anecdote, like in Russia, where communism is still like a lot more popular than in like the West, for instance. Even in Russia, like Solzhenitsyn's Gulag Archipelago, which is totally bullshit book, like a fiction book written by a crazy person to attack communism, like that's mandatory reading in schools in Russia.
Oh yeah.
So nobody wants to talk about communism and nobody wants to shit talk communism. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
even in Russia, they literally force people to read this like baseless shit that attacks communism.
They basically do throughout the entire fucking world. Like, basically, like, almost every liberal country has anti-communist fucking propaganda. Like, I had to read fucking Ayn Rand's fucking Anthem in high school. Like,
Wow.
yeah, literally. It's just bullshit. It's complete fucking, like, baseless bullshit.
Reason number 2, the Nazis carried out the Holocaust. Nothing matches the Holocaust for pure evil. The rounding up of virtually every Jewish man, woman, child, and baby on the European continent and sending them to die is unprecedented and unparalleled. The communists killed far more people than the Nazis, but never matched the Holocaust in the systemization of genocide. The uniqueness of the Holocaust and the enormous attention rightly paid to it have helped ensure that Nazism has a worse name than communism.
Well, that's almost like surprisingly reasonable, but he still has to throw in the baseless claim that communists manage to somehow kill more. Like, how does that even work? Like, how does if one country tries to systematically exterminate as many people as possible, how does another country that doesn't try to do that still like somehow manage to kill more? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, no, it's like, okay, how could they have possibly killed more people than the Holocaust without systematically doing so? Like, because according to fucking PragerU, they did it systematically, but they did it somehow different from the Holocaust? Like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Oh yeah, I mean they're probably gonna go into how they use starvation or whatever, which doesn't even make any fucking sense.
Yeah, they didn't directly exterminate them. They indirectly did it. Like, what the fuck?
What the hell's indirect extermination?
I don't know, man. It's just fucking, it's just don't give them food. Take the Ukrainians' food away from them.
Number 3. Communism is based on nice-sounding theories. Nazism isn't. It's based on heinous-sounding theories.
Oh, come on. Like, every ideology has nice sounding things. Like, Hitler didn't just go around being like, hey guys, I'm evil, vote
everyone.
evil. Like,
we're gonna kill everyone. We're gonna fucking kill all the people who are lower than us.
Yeah, because if you fucking read like Hitler's shit, like he talks about love for the white race and all that crap.
Yeah, he talks about how he wants the people to be in this 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 national brotherhood, and how everybody's part of one big family. And like it's like every ideology like tries to make themselves sound like fucking like happy fucking place, right? But
yeah, I mean that's not unique to fucking a communist theory.
Yeah,
or any communist theory. I mean, fucking, I could take liberalism and it fucking sounds nice and good. Like, oh, we're all individuals, we're all free,
we're all able to do whatever we want in the market, and we have complete control over our own fucking possessions, and we
communism is just absolutely feels over reals. It's just totally happy fun times. Like that's why Mao said that revolution is a dinner party. Oh wait, he said revolution is not a dinner party.
No shit. Moving on.
Intellectuals in general, including, of course, the intellectuals who write history, are seduced by words, so much so that they deem actions as less significant than words. For that reason, they haven't focused nearly as much attention on the horrific actions of communists as they have on the horrific actions.
Or maybe there just isn't as much evidence. Like,
this is a really bizarre argument. Like,
yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, I don't know. I don't remember any fucking historian like talking about people's theories rather than the things they've done.
And generally, you don't even hear like liberals like overtly say that Nazism's worse than communism. They just don't talk about communism as much. I mean, I guess like when it comes to World War II history.
I've heard liberals claim that fucking Stalin killed more than Hitler.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the opposite. I've literally heard liberals fucking claim that Stalin, like fucking Timothy Schneider, fucking saying that Stalin was worse than Hitler, and then like literally, like Lithuanian Nazis had a fucking they had a film project that was promoting the Lithuanian activist front that literally had fucking swastikas on their fucking on their special entrance tickets.
Good God.
Yeah, and they specifically fucking thanked Timothy Schneider for proving that Stalin was worse than Hitler. And
yeah, to be honest, you hear that constantly. You hear it constantly said that like communism is equally bad or worse.
Yeah, like all the time. You hear that shit all the fucking time. So this is nonsense.
Actions of the Nazis. They dismiss the evils of communists as perversions of true communism. But they regard Nazi atrocities, correctly, as the logical and inevitable results of Nazism. Reason number 4.
Well, I mean, that would... maybe there is, like... In one sense, that is true, because I think... the West has always tried to prop up and support anti-Soviet kinds of communism. Like they have supported Euro-communism and left communism and Trotskyism, like things. People like
communism, yeah,
people like Orwell and whoever was a communist who was critical of the Soviet Union or actually existing socialism. The West did support them. Like the West definitely does support the narrative that Trotsky was like the good guy and Stalin was the bad guy. But
yeah, liberals always source and cite Trotsky. Like all the time. It's a fucking disgrace. And but the thing about George Orwell though is that yeah, they promote his work, but they will never tell you that he was a libertarian socialist. I literally went through all of high school. I even read one of Orwell's books in high school, and I didn't find out that he was a libertarian socialist until long after I left high school.
I was surprised to find out he never stepped foot in Russia.
Yeah, also, same thing with fucking, same thing with, oh man, what's that writer? What's that writer's name? The famous
Which
one.
Jack London.
No, he was a socialist too, and he was like a famous writer in
What did he
in
write?
the U.S. He
Well,
wrote
Jack London was a socialist.
he wrote shit, I don't remember. Fuck.
Oscar Wilde.
No, fuck.
There's a lot of them. A lot of famous socialist writers.
I don't know, but my English teacher loved him, and I don't even think she knew that he was a fucking socialist. That's the best part.
Germans have thoroughly exposed the evils of Nazism, have taken responsibility for them, and have attempted to atone for them. Russians have not done anything similar regarding Lenin's or Stalin's horrors.
What?
To the contrary.
What? Did he really just say what I think he said?
Yeah,
That the Russians haven't fucking criticized Lenin or Stalin at all? Is that
Not
for
at
real?
all.
Is that
Lenin
fucking for
Lenin
real?
more so than Stalin.
No, yeah,
Well,
but the thing
mean-
about Stalin though is that they claim that he was like some national hero, like he was some nationalist when he really wasn't. He was a hardcore internationalist. But
And it's
Putin
not as
always
simple as
shits on
that.
Lenin.
I mean, yeah, nowadays they shit on Lenin, but even the fucking Soviet Union had de-Stalinization. Like these days, Stalin has sort of had a revival, but the Soviet Union attacked Stalin a lot. So
Yeah, I mean-
it's decades later that Stalin's popularity has like
Yeah,
or
like
maybe,
But I mean,
maybe the
Tsar
popularity
Nicholas,
was-
according to a survey that I looked at like a while
Yeah,
back,
wasn't the
Tsar
Kate
Nicholas-
massacre a fucking Kate and the massacre was a fucking claim of Gorbachev, wasn't it?
No, the Nazis claimed that Kate massacre
well,
happened.
the Nazis claimed it, but Gorbachev like
Confirmed it.
and
Yeah, Gorbachev
Yeltsin-
and Gorbachev and Yeltsin fucking put that out as well.
Yeah, they confirmed
Yeah,
that it was the Soviets when
yeah.
it wasn't, but we're not going to get into that. But yeah, the fucking yeah, they've been shitting on Lenin since the conservatives came into power, so
But it's a bizarre argument to make. It's like, well, the Germans have criticized the Holocaust, and then the Russians haven't criticized their own Holocaust because they didn't have their own Holocaust. It's like,
yeah.
you know, like,
I mean, the Ukrainians sure as hell believe it.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, the Ukrainians are literally like the current Ukrainian government is basically proto-fascist. Like, it's not even like
That's straight up Nazis, dude.
yeah, pretty much. It's bad, and it's like that with a lot of Eastern Europe too, Lithuania included.
Lenin, the father of Soviet communism, is still widely venerated in
I wonder
Russia.
why.
And as
What?
regards Stalin, as University of London Russian historian Donald Rayfield puts it, quote, people still deny, by assertion or implication, Stalin's Holocaust.
yeah, because, like, what fucking Holocaust is that?
I like how he's like. I like how Donald. That sounds like an American historian.
Yeah, no, he's an American, probably in. Well, I mean, no, he is probably British, but this is University of fucking London. Of course, they're going to fucking shit on
Oh, I'm
Stalin.
an idiot.
But it's the same thing. Like I don't remember who it was, but the guy who did the study where he showed that if you make the claim that the Holodomor or the Ukrainian famine was like a Holocaust, then you could use a similar methodology to claim that the U.S. had its own Holodomor during the Dust Bowl or the Great Depression, and it's like basically all claims of genocide are just not on the same level. Like the Holocaust is a fucking really well documented real event, but to claim, for instance, that the U.S. carried out a deliberate Holocaust in the Great Depression is like, you can claim that, but you know it's not on the same level as as a factual statement.
Yeah, I mean, no one's been no one on our side has been fucking dishonest to say that.
Yeah, but they do.
Unquote. Even less so as China exposed the greatest mass murderer and enslaver of them all, Mao Zedong.
Whatever, like, it's...
I've heard that like Mao has killed more people than anyone in history, and it's like you realize the Chinese population like rose significantly during the same time, right?
The Chinese government, ever since Mao died, has been very critical of him. Like, obviously, they can't totally dismiss him because, like, they don't like his ideas.
The population still likes Mao, though. Like, the majority of Chinese people, I think recently I saw in a study that the majority of Chinese people still think that Mao is a national hero. So...
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's the same thing with Stalin. Like, the Russian government doesn't like Stalin's idea, but they try to use him as, like, a popular nationalist type figure.
Yeah,
Same in China. Like, the Chinese government doesn't like any of Mao's ideas, but they still can't really totally dismiss the founder of their own country, you know? So they try to turn him into, like, some kind of, you know, national figure who...
Yeah. Greatest mass... There's that word again, enslaver. Like, you still haven't defined enslavement, Prager. Move on.
That's how...
I remember what the writer's name was. It was Ernest Hemingway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mao remains revered in China. Every Chinese currency note has his picture on it. Until Russia and China and Vietnam and Cuba and North Korea acknowledge the evils their countries committed under communism.
Pause.
Communism's evils will...
Okay, so I like how Dennis Prager is pointing the finger at 5 different countries, but refuses to hold his own country at the same principles that he's holding these countries at.
What are you talking about? The United States never did anything wrong at any point in history.
Yeah, like, okay, like, you know, it's like I find it's like this is like imperialist like mindset here. It's like you need to take responsibility for what you've done.
Honestly,
but, you know,
it's hard.
It's like who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you to tell 5 different nations to acknowledge the crimes that they've committed?
Well, like, think about the UK and, like, Churchill. Like, Churchill was not only did he say positive things about Mussolini, like, before they, you know, before they started having conflict, and, like, he was an open advocate of really bloody colonialism. He was clearly responsible of, like, millions of deaths in India. Because of colonialism, and
the United Kingdom is responsible for more deaths than any other country historically.
Yeah, like, he's still revered, and it's just and supported by the official propaganda of the UK. And in this country, like, even other Westerners are somewhat shocked, like, who I've met about the sort of denial of Nazi collaboration that our country had. Because, like, we were fighting on the Axis side, but it's framed as some kind of special, like, oh, we're not really Axis, but we were just sort of somehow fighting a common enemy, and, like, it's not the same thing, and whatever. But, like, we haven't fucking taken responsibility for our shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to pinpoint exactly, like, what ideology PragerU is. Like, they're definitely somewhere within, like, the conservative ideology, but I don't know if, like...
I'd say they're libertarian conservatives.
Like, paleo-libertarians. I mean, I'd go as far as to say they're neoconservatives, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd say that too.
So...
Neocons, which are fucking... Neoconservatives are so weird.
Yeah,
whatever, like, even on the most random topics, like, whatever it is, it's like they manage to be, like, reactionary about it, like...
Yeah, super fucking reactionary about it.
Like, women and minorities and anybody else, like...
I just watched
they just attack them.
Before we started this podcast, I watched a PragerU video about men looking at women in
we
the
can get
beach.
to that later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that later, believe me, but we'll talk
the German
about that.
state under Hitler. Reason number 5. Communists murdered mostly their own people. The Nazis, on the other hand, killed very few fellow Germans.
Wait,
World
how is this
opinion,
an argument?
that largely meaningless and amoral term.
Wait, how is that... So, is
Okay, if we were to use that same logic to the United States, or fucking Great Britain, as we've discussed, Well,
What the
my
fuck?
friend.
Dude,
Oof, I don't know.
is that an actual defense?
Well, I've
they
actually
didn't-
heard,
they only
like,
killed other people. They didn't kill their own people. What?
I've actually heard that. I've actually heard that said many times. Like, I remember when I was in college, one guy actually told me, like, well, I mean, at least Hitler like killed other people, and he wasn't as stupid as to start randomly killing his own people. I was like, okay, dude, like.
My God, that is so
Okay,
fucking
first of all,
outrageous.
let's grant for a moment. I don't know. This is super weird. I don't have anything to say about this. We'll move on.
My God.
Deems the murder of members of one's own group far less noteworthy than the murder of outsiders. That's why, for example,
Really?
They shouldn't be fucking compared. Murder is murder. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is this shit?
Like I've said, if you're going to compare the two, like, you know, like I said, Great Britain, America, fucking Nazis couldn't hold a candle to them.
blacks killing millions of fellow blacks in Africa elicits almost no attention.
Oh my God.
Okay. I want to talk about that real quick.
First of all, black people.
Yeah. First of all, Dennis Prager, are you like a moron who doesn't understand that even though every person, like all the nationalities in black are technically black, they're not the same nationality?
Yeah, there's like many different fucking cultures in Africa. They're not all just black.
And a lot of them hate each other because of their culture. Like what the?
Just to generalize, you have the West Africans, you have the Swahili Coast Africans, you have the South Africans, the Central Africans, the fucking Sub-Saharan, the fucking North Africans.
This is what pisses me off when people say, "Oh, fucking blacks are killing blacks in fucking Africa." I was like, dude, like, when fucking Nigerian is killing a fucking
like a Congoan.
Yeah, Congoan. I was trying to. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. A Nigerian's killing a Congoan. He's not thinking, "Oh, I'm killing another black man." I'm just like, I'm a Nigerian killing a fucking Congoan.
Yeah.
You know, that's like these people view themselves as different.
Just
than
watch
a fucking
Hotel
person in another
Rwanda.
country.
Like even like
Yeah,
something a liberal
honest,
media as Hotel Rwanda fucking presents this.
Well, yeah, it's because Americans cannot like look outside of their own viewpoint and things.
Yeah.
And when they see Africa as just a bunch of black people, oh, they're all the same color. They're basically the same.
And
Like
to be honest, like his argument is exactly the opposite of reality. Like, yeah, people don't talk about the stuff that happens in Africa because, you know, Westerners don't care. Like that's it. Like,
yeah, we don't
it's a
give
valid
shit.
point, but like,
It doesn't really help his argument.
you know, the Rwandan genocide is a good example. Like that went relatively unnoticed, even though it was a big thing. But you know, it's a bunch of Africans being killed. So
It's just a bunch of
know.
dumb exploited Africans just
Yeah, they're all the
killing
same.
each other.
They're all the same.
Yeah, we all exploit them
Like
the same
you,
way.
you
so it
see
doesn't
Africa,
matter.
like people kind of view Africa as this giant like fucking nation of the same people. Like I think fucking it was Chris Reagan who fucking said, "Oh, why can't we fucking, you know, like why does Africa not have fucking why can Africa not talk about Africa, Indian? It was like he said Africa, Indian, Asia. Talk about like why do they not have hegemonic problems? Because they're not hegemonic. First of all, India is a part of Asia, you jackass.
Oh, man.
Well, it's
Like,
like
holy
it's
fucking
like
crap.
when Leopold II killed like more than 10 million people in Africa. That went relatively ignored, even though it was a bigger genocide than the Holocaust. But
Well,
you know,
let's not forget about the Native Americans.
It's not
yeah,
as bad
like-
as the Holodomor, though.
they're not killing white people in Europe. So you know,
Yeah.
or
you know,
I mean, yeah.
Because
So
here's the thing, like the Holocaust was bad, and it really was bad. And I would not even like fucking saying it's not bad. I'm not even trying to underplay it. But when it comes, you know, like I feel like nowadays, like Jewish people are seen as white, so it's like seen as white people killing white people is the ultimate fucking crime that you could possibly fucking commit. But now it's like, oh, it's just fucking. But you know, when it's white people killing Native Americans or fucking Africans, that's fine.
Yeah.
World opinion. And reason number 6. In the view of the left, the last good war was World War II, the war against German Nazism and Japanese fascism. The left does not regard wars against communist regimes as good wars. For example, the American war against Vietnamese communism is regarded...
I mean, even, like, the thing is,
The reason...
that
Here's the
leftists
thing.
even disagree with the United States going to fucking, like, invading the fucking Nazi Germany, though. Like, most, like, communists, at least, don't like the fact that the Allies just kind of, like, swooped in last minute while the Soviets pretty much had already fucking, like, defeated the Nazis. Like, it's just, they basically just kind of fucking stole shit.
And think about that. Like, I wonder, why is the Vietnam War and the Korean War, like, what, or the Iraq War, like, why are those seen as bad, and then World War II not so much? Well, like, maybe because at least, like, in the Second World War, they were actually, you know, they were fighting Nazism, they were fighting fascism. Even if they were doing it for their own selfish interests, they were fighting in Africa to get colonies and whatnot. But, like, at least they were sort of on the right side of history. But in Korea or Vietnam, they're just attacking some random country that wants to be independent and build their own type of system, and they kill millions of civilians. Like, they
destroy everything. Like, just bomb the shit out of everything.
Yeah, like, how many millions of Vietnamese children do we have to napalm to death until they realize that communism is bad for them? Like,
exactly.
It's pretty evil. Like, they just commit atrocity after atrocity, like horrendous war crimes and, like, all this. It's just bad.
Nah, but according to PragerU, they're good wars. So
yeah, good wars.
Well, neocons fucking love war.
Yeah.
I really wonder, like, what is the conservative argument, like, why they needed to go to Vietnam, like.
To stop communism.
Yeah, I mean, a while back, like,
to stop communism. That's all. I've always heard that we had to stop communism.
I mean, like, yeah, back in the day,
even conservatives, like modern, like the current conservatives, like, admit the fact that the Tonkin Bay was total bullshit. Like, the Tonkin Bay incident, where, you know, the supposed U.S. ship was bombed by the Vietnamese. Everybody knew it was bullshit. Everybody knew it was a false flag. That's why the hippie movement got so fucking large, is because the hippies were like, what the fuck? This is so obviously bullshit.
Well, back in the day, they used to say that it was like self-defense, like, oh, if we don't fight the Vietnamese in Vietnam, then we gotta fight them in the US or something, which is just absurd.
Yeah, that's completely moronic.
But I wonder, like, what do they say these days? Like, do they just say that...
They just say communism.
Oh, we have to kill them to teach them that they're not free. We have to free them by burning down their villages and, like, decapitating their women with, like
arsenal of
like,
democracy.
Just look up the My Lai massacre. It's MYLAI. I'm really tired, so I hope I got the spelling right. But, like, just look that up. They butchered, like, just hundreds of children and women in like one village because they said that, oh, they're Vietnamese, they're probably supporting the Viet Cong. There's no Viet Cong combatants anywhere, but just don't let anybody live.
Yeah. It's, you know,
it's
just the good wars, you know.
Good war.
As immoral, and the war against Korean communism and its Chinese communist backers is simply ignored. Until the left and all the institutions influenced by the left acknowledge how evil communism has been, we will continue to live in a morally confused...
Can I want a comment real quick? I cannot take anyone seriously in politics when they use the word evil.
Or immoral.
Like, I can't take them. I can't take anyone who talks about politics seriously when they say evil.
Yeah.
Like, maybe in a personal conversation, I can accept that. But, like, when you're, like, preaching to, like, a fucking, you're like, you know, 1 million? No,
1.7 million.
Yeah, 1.7 million subscribers. Using the word evil, like, how can I take you seriously? You're fucking.
Well, I mean, the conservatives are like, yeah, they're fucking evil. They're evil as fuck, man. God said it himself.
I mean, like, yeah, maybe you can call them evil, but clearly they have some kind of other, you know, reasoning besides just that, oh, I'm just evil, that's why I do this. Like,
yeah, like, because, you know, when you use the word evil in this kind of context, it shows me you don't really understand Like,
Well,
you
it's
don't
a
understand
caricature.
you don't understand how political movements work.
I mean, they know this is propaganda. They know it's bullshit, but they're trying to get their subscribers. It's
Yeah.
like, I agree with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Used world. In the meantime, all good people owe it to the victims of communism to learn what happened to them. Even worse than being murdered or enslaved is a world that doesn't even know that you were.
Yeah. Tell that to the
Yeah,
Native
you can learn.
Americans.
You
Say
can
that to the
learn
never
all
made it.
that.
Oh man.
Yeah,
you can learn all that
I-
valuable insight from Prager University, which
Yeah.
is.
Don't actually look into it yourself, though. You might stumble upon
Can you,
something
like-
that's
can
actually
you get
like,
some-
source worthy.
Can I get a degree from Prager University?
I tried, but it's on their website. They don't offer degrees, so.
What kind of university is it exactly?
It's it's the kind of university that's just it's just they do
It's
videos.
the big brain guy.
Okay.
Fucking
Okay. Well,
big brain university.
meme over. It's just a fucking pretentious way to show how intellectually they are. Big brain intellectuals they are.
This is
Or
like the most
university.
anti-intellectual shit I've ever seen in my life, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
even conservatives fucking dog on this shit.
Okay.
The London newspaper, the Daily Mail, listed the top 10 problems experienced by couples on vacation together. And topping the list was the man looking at other women in bikinis on the beach. Now, in another...
Okay. Here's the thing. I watched this video earlier, which is why we're watching. And one of the things that really got me about this is, why did you make a video about this? That seems so like it seems so weird. Like, why are you taking the
It's
time
so
to make
out
a
of
video
nowhere.
about this particular subject? And I
Yeah,
feel
it
like,
seemed-
and I feel like since Prager's doing it himself, I assume this is basically this is an assumption. This is not based on any evidence or facts. I think that he went on vacation with his wife and got caught staring at another girl.
He had to justify himself to his wife.
Well, it's like, yeah, it's a relatively trivial topic. Like, yeah, you think that these guys are assholes, but they're actually not. So let me like make this video where I employ like these people to like make all these fancy graphics for it and everything just to talk about this. Like,
Okay, let's
On
do
the Prager
this.
University course, I explained the sexual power of the visual on men. And as I show, and as anyone readily understands,
Oh shit, maybe we should have seen that one first, but oh well.
unless they've been misled by a politically correct college course, the power of the visual to excite men has no analog in women.
What?
That's a really cryptic sentence. Like, what?
I'm
Okay,
confused by
I'm pretty sure what he's trying to say is that women don't have the same level of like visual attraction that men do, which
which is bullshit. By the
it
way.
may
Just-
seem to be that way, but it's not even true. Like, it's really not.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely. Like this is just another book. Let's continue.
Women
Yeah.
don't get excited by virtually every male body at the beach. Male legs don't turn them on like female legs turn men on.
Citation
etc.,
needed.
etc.
Yes, citation needed heavily.
Dad
Whatever.
bods. Dad bods though. Like, come on.
Look at them hairy legs. We don't want you to lick it.
It takes massive willpower, in fact, for a heterosexual man not to look at bikini-clad.
Oh my god. they're-
come the fuck
Women
on!
with a nice-
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's I can't resist. I can't resist looking at it.
Come the fuck on! Like, oh my god! Oh no!
Okay, so I'm gonna be
Oh my
kind of
God.
talking about. I'm not. I mean, I'm no expert by any point, but I have read feminist theory, and one of the biggest, like a big thing about feminist theory is the male gaze. It's the idea that men will constantly look at women, without regard for how comfortable it makes them or people. But I might get into more into that in a second.
nicest, finest, and most monogamously faithful and loving have such willpower. So the Daily Mail notes, this frequently causes problems when a couple's itinerary includes a visit to the beach.
This is such incredible fucking bullshit. Like,
Jesus fucking Christ.
is it really that hard to just not look at other women? Like,
Yeah,
No,
like
dude.
I think
Men are fucking wild animals, and they
Yeah,
can't control
we're
themselves.
Yeah, this is pretty offensive, to be honest. Like,
Oh, it's absolutely
you're
offensive.
just a walking penis. Like, all that's all you are.
It's offensive
Well,
both to men and women. Like,
Yeah, let's continue. Let's more to
What
say.
exactly is the problem? The problem is that the wife or girlfriend feels threatened by his...
Let's see. Okay, it's not the man's fault for taking the action that he did. It's the woman's fault for reacting to it badly. That is the.
I mean, at least when we know where fucking Prager stands, like, we know he does this constantly, like, just like you said. He can't resist it.
Cue the Finbold
I'm
cringe
sure he
sound.
can.
looking. And why does she feel threatened? Because she thinks he is comparing her to those women. And why does this...
Why does he
Yes.
wait? Why
Yes,
does he
because-
make the fucking?
First of all, he's assuming that it's not that it's rude or
This
fucking
is
misogynist
so
to
bad.
look at women.
This
It's
is-
that he's basically saying that women are so insecure. Like every single woman is so insecure that they can't handle it.
disturb her?
Hold on.
And, like,
Notice-
come on, man. Like, I mean, honestly, I don't see how this wouldn't affect men in the same exact way. Like, if your girlfriend is, like, constantly, like, looking at some other men, like, what would you think? Like,
Notice how they're like kind of fucking implying that their wives are like not as attractive. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Have you ever seen conservative wives? They're really fat.
Here are 3 reasons. First, virtually every woman, no matter how attractive, thinks that when her man is looking at other women in general, and in bikinis especially, he is finding them more attractive than her.
Okay, come on.
Second,
Come on.
she
Come
thinks
on.
that he is therefore this...
Have you ever fucking? Do you think like okay? Oh my fucking god, dude. Do you think
this is
that it's-
incredible.
Do you think that
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
okay to fucking like have that kind of reaction to a woman who is walking by while you're with your fucking spouse? Is that an appropriate fucking reaction to the point where you literally like have a fucking gaping mouth that like what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, like here's the thing. Like in the whole video, he will not fucking once, criticize that action. This whole video is to not only make an excuse for men doing that,
But it's to blame
Yeah,
women
like,
for it too.
I mean,
to shame women into feeling feeling insecure about it or whatever.
Yeah, like,
to-
I'm not gonna talk shit about, like, open relationships or whatever, like, relationships where they are not so strict like that, but, like, honestly, like, what kind of... If it's supposed to be like a monogamous relationship, then what kind of relationship is it where you just constantly like look at other women and like are drooling after them, you know?
Literally, fucking god, dude. This is so fucking bad.
satisfied with her, which in turn arouses the unspoken but primal fear that he might leave her. And
Primal? What the fuck?
And that's her fault. Obviously, it's the woman's fault.
she
Like,
is
what
sure
the
that
hell?
her man will continue to think about these women long after they've disappeared from sight. So now let's analyze these reasons. First, does the husband or boyfriend find these women on the beach, or for that matter anywhere else, more attractive than he finds his wife or girlfriend? Well, since I believe that only honesty works in the long...
I mean, he might. Like,
Yeah, it's possible.
how do you know he doesn't? Like,
It's definitely possible.
maybe
That's
he
not the
thinks
po-
he just can't,
it's-
maybe
it's
he
not
just
the
thinks he can't get them. You know, like, what the fuck is the argument?
Yeah, but that's not the point though. Like the point is it rude and wrong to do that? And the
Well,
answer is
obviously,
Yeah, like
Not only wrong, but is it misogynist to do that? And the answer is also yes.
this video is just all around like just terrible. It's like
offensive.
it's just like
ultra
listen,
offensive.
listen, women, your men are just walking penises and absolute savages who just want to constantly cheat on you, and you shouldn't give a fuck.
Well, he's
That's what it's saying.
Well, actually, he's making the point that they're not trying to cheat on you.
Yeah,
That's what he's trying. That's
that-
that's the point he's getting into right now.
Well,
Let's continue.
okay.
The
he's-
answer is
he-
sometimes yes.
like men are
He's-
wild and primal, but you
He's
just
saying
have to
that they-
trust them, and if you don't trust
well-
them, then you're like it's your fault.
Well, he's
Well-
actually not saying. Continue and see what I mean.
Well, he's saying that they want to
May
look
very
and it
well
doesn't
find
matter.
some of
Oh well, yeah.
those women more physically attractive than his woman. But here's the point that most women, again, understandably don't know. With very few exceptions, it doesn't matter. You heard me right.
It doesn't matter.
Of course, when looking at these other women, he may find some of them more physically attractive than the woman he's with. But, and here's the good news, so what? Presuming he is attracted to you, and if he isn't, it doesn't matter if you're vacationing in a monastery and all he sees are monks.
Oh yeah,
I'm
sure that this is his favorite thing to do on vacation.
You. I repeat, he wants you. And if he does, all those other women don't amount to a hill of beans. There's another thing women need to know. Within seconds of her disappearing from view, he has no memory of any of these women. When in sight, they can take over his male mind. But
there it is again.
Jesus.
There it is. There it is again. Male mind, lady brain.
Where's male fucking mind?
Yes, because we are primal. We must fuck. Oh, gives me Tonko great erection.
Yeah, like you see a woman and you just like totally get infatuated by her for like the time that she's in your immediate like vicinity, and then immediately after that you just forget you have the memory of a goldfish.
I know guys. I've known guys who are married who are not attracted to their wives anymore, who literally say that they'll stare at women and then jerk off to them later.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely a thing that happens. Like, fucking,
And
this is just so ignorant.
It's not good.
It's just so fucking ignorant.
Like
it's as if they.
I can't honestly. I can't think of too many men who haven't fantasized about being with other women who are in relationships. It's a very common thing.
Well,
and anybody who
especially in
has
long
guy friends
relationships.
who've been in long-term relationships know this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's accurate.
Ever existed. Yes, the visual gets men's total attention in a matter of seconds. But as soon as the woman he was focused on...
I mean, speak for yourself, man. Like, come on.
Like I said, I don't think he made this video for his audience. I think he made this for a particular
for his
person.
wife.
Yeah, it's like, see, honey, I still love you. I swear. Don't leave me.
vanishes,
Don't leave me and take the kids.
Most men forget what they saw in an equal number of seconds. Why does this come as news, and hard to believe news at that, to most women? Because you, the woman, remember
The woman.
the women you're...
There it is again. He's pointing the finger at women. It's their fault.
You,
man
the
looked at,
woman.
and you therefore think that he too remembers them. But let me assure you, he doesn't.
Dude,
Most
he's
men
making
under
this for his
torture
wife.
couldn't
Just
identify
listen
the
to
women
it.
they looked at the hour before, let alone the day before, if they were shown photos of them along with...
Okay, that kind of sounds like a study. It'd be nice if you, like, I don't know, linked it or something. I feel like that's like a baseless claim or something.
Yeah, no, it's just.
I mean, yeah, true. Like, in most cases, you're not gonna fucking. I mean, I don't. I'm not gonna remember the fucking cute fucking waitress at Wendy's who took my fucking order. I mean, that might be true, but I don't think that. I mean, like I said, none of this really matters. Like, the point isn't, oh, how women react to it. The point is that the act of itself is fucking fucked up.
Yeah, like, why do you have to look at other women when you're literally, like, why do you have to do it, period? Like, especially in front of your spouse. Like, come on, man. Like, have some level of decency.
I mean, and even if you do, own up to it.
Yeah, I mean.
Fucking own up to it. Say, yeah, it's wrong for me to do that. You know?
Yeah, don't try to defend yourself, because, like, basically what PragerU is saying here, like, yeah, just look at all the women you want. It's your girlfriend's fault if she's mad.
Yeah, I mean, I know that, like, all three of us have been in a relationship, and, we'd be fucking lying if we said we didn't look at other women while we were in relationships.
Yeah, no, of course.
But guess what? We're gonna own up to it, and we're not gonna make excuses.
Like, I mean, do you think that this actually, like, persuaded a lot of women?
No.
Fuck no.
I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly.
If I were, like I said, if I were to fucking bring this up to a woman after I had done this act, that's like just asking for her to break up with me.
It's just like the top comment.
If I showed this to my girlfriend right now and took it completely seriously, she'd probably be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Well, like, look at the top comment on this video. I'll post it in the chat. It's like, it has like almost 5,000 likes. Showed this to my girlfriend, well, ex-girlfriend.
Photos of women they had never seen. And more good news. His seeing women who he thinks for that moment are more attractive than you has no bearing whatsoever on his being quote-unquote dissatisfied with you. Men find other women attractive in large measure just because they are other women. Men are programmed by nature to want variety. Indeed,
Citation needed.
endless variety.
Yeah, I take that with a heavy dose of
That's why
skepticism.
God-fearing King Solomon had 700 wives and another 300 concubines.
Oh,
And
I'm sure.
Look at
I'm
look
sure
at these.
that happened.
Look, I know, no, I'm sure it did. Look at all of these Look at all of these fucking men who had all of these women. Oh, I don't know. It's like they were powerful men who treated women as objects or something.
Yeah, like
not-
this guy who had like hundreds of wives. I'm sure he loved all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably not.
like he didn't have and Hugh Hefner, fucking Hugh Hefner. You kidding me? Hugh fucking Hefner. Fuck you.
Hugh Hefner had at least that many lovers. In sum, then, when your man looks at these other, perhaps even more attractive women, he is A, not comparing you to them, B, not in any way becoming dissatisfied with you, and C, certainly not.
I mean, you
Basically,
can't
just
guarantee
making
that.
excuses. So you're basically just making excuses for the men.
Yeah, and you can't guarantee that either. Like, you can't say that this is true in every case.
Yeah, and
No,
here's the thing.
it's cool. Just look at them. It's cool.
And here's the thing. I'll grant him this. Maybe in maybe most cases this is true, but that does not, like I said, it does not excuse the behavior.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make it right.
Yeah, like it doesn't make what he did right. It doesn't make a dude staring at a woman in the beach right. It's still fucked up.
It's still
Jerky
very
thing to do.
disrespectful. Both
It's
like
ex-
it's yeah, just
It's
just bad.
disrespectful to your spouse. It's disrespectful to the woman you're staring at.
Yeah, like to be really fair to this guy, like he could say like, okay, maybe women are like overreacting, and that's like being extremely generous to PragerU, but still like just putting the blame on women is just fucking absurd.
Absolutely.
Thinking of them later. He looks at them because they are other women, whether they are more attractive, just as attractive, or less attractive. They are women in bikinis, so he looks.
Look how emotional he is.
That's just
Look at
like
how
the
he-
guy.
Just look at his face too. He's like obviously trying to like really
You-
get
you-
his point across.
Like
you
when
know,
he
when-
leans in closer and the mouth opens, like that's like the idea of the stereotypical man that Prager
when-
wants to portray.
When I go to a bar, when I want to make sure I know a girl knows I like her or I think she's cute, I just like go like fucking like 5 feet from her and I like bend over forward with a dumb look on my face,
no,
big
like
dumb smile on my face.
no, like nothing happens in your brain. You don't even think. You just do it because you're a stupid animal. It's just like, like
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Domestic
Man, fuck
harmony and mutual physical attraction more than anything your husband wants you. When he looks, he isn't.
Okay, this is the artist in me speaking. The legs here look super weird compared to the rest of the
Oh,
thing, and
yeah.
just kind of and it fucks with the flow and style of the entire
That
video,
is so weird.
which is which is something I'll like the quality of PragerU, like fucking the quality of PragerU graphics like varies from video to video, and this one was kind of good up until this point, and that just set me off. What? Why?
He's trying to say that they have sexy legs, essentially.
I guess, but it just
And
looks
he
stupid.
won't have a
Just looks
clue
weird as
later
fuck.
as to who he saw.
Like fucking
So when
realistic
you're back
feet.
in your hotel room,
I'd like a
And, like,
stick
put
figure.
on your own bikini.
Yeah, let's stick the
and tell him
bathroom
you
sign
want
stick
it.
figures.
Because again, more than anyone else in the world, he wants you. And if you don't believe me, ask him.
You can't guarantee that.
You'll be glad you did, and so will he.
You can't
I'm Dennis
guarantee
Prager.
that.
Join Prager University.
No, fuck you.
Like, as
Join
if-
Big Brain University.
join Big Brain Universe, like as if this was a real injustice. It's not like what? This was such a big injustice towards men. Like it's just this whole thing is absurd.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
it is.
that's neocons for you.
Fucking neocons.
Whatever is reactionary,
Hello, Raven.
they think.
Raven, what's up?
Not much, man. I was gonna jerk off until Polinkazh messaged me.
Nice,
I'm recording.
nice.
Like fucking plummets
You
into
see the
bullshit.
one where he sucks the shit out of Winston Churchill's asshole.
Oh, It's like that's
Or
like
the UK
every
in
PragerU
general.
video is just really appalling. Like I used to not even be able to watch these. Like now I've worked up the courage to watch these, but it used to be where every time I saw these, I didn't find them funny. I didn't find them like, you know,
It's just
cringy
angering.
funny. I just found them really infuriating and frustrating, and like I just could not
only
even.
Fun, it's only fun to watch this when you're with like a bunch of other comrades and you're just like making the fucking shit out of it. But
Yeah, pretty much.
What's the difference between a liberal and a leftist? This question stumps most people because they think liberal and left are essentially the same.
No, that's no. Just fucking no.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you know anything about radical politics, you know that liberalism is pretty right-wing ideology.
Yeah, liberalism is like generally. I was gonna make a video about this, but I still haven't made it. But essentially, the way that I think about it is that all ideology falls under three main ideological concepts, at least in the modern era, and that's socialism, liberalism, and nationalism. Now, the so-called liberals in the U.S. are actually just social liberals. And they're not all that different from conservatives. Like the left is the fucking socialists. Those are the fucking and not the social democrats, not fucking Bernie and fucking all that bullshit. It's like the actual socialists are split between basically the communists and the anarchists, and then it gets way more complicated from there.
Liberals see the feel the burn. Like, well, liberals see themselves as center left because they want regulated capitalism. And they are socially liberal as opposed to being socially conservative and wanting free trade and whatever.
Right.
So they're only really they're center right or center whatever. They're capitalists, so they're still in the. If we would say that if we want to split it down the middle and say socialists are left and capitalists are right, then they're clearly in the capitalist camp. But they are in the more left of the capitalists.
But yeah, it's gonna get good for like 3 seconds and then it'll immediately plummet. Just watch.
But they're not. In fact, liberalism and leftism have almost nothing in common. But the left has appropriated the word liberal so effectively, almost everyone, liberals, leftists, and conservatives, thinks they are synonymous.
Okay, I'd like to point out, leftism didn't appropriate liberalism. Liberalism appropriated leftism.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, so fuck you, Prager.
But they're not. Let me offer you 6 examples. 1, race.
Let me offer you six examples.
1, the Jews.
This is probably the most obvious difference between liberal and left. The liberal position on race has always been A, the color of a person's skin is insignificant, and B, those who believe race is significant are racists. Meanwhile, the left believes the very opposite. To the left, it's the liberal attitude toward race. It's unimportant. That is racist. That's why the University of California officially lists the statement, there is only one race, the human race.
So the University of California is
liberals
communist?
have always been passionately committed to racial integration, while the left is increasing.
Well,
what is that word?
Oh, okay. What the fuck?
It's Prager, man. It's feel the Prager and enter the Prager.
Intrigue, create
lion.
Create slime.
Watch more Prager; it starts making sense.
Okay, so
I'd like fascist messaging.
I'd like to point something out here. The problem with this one is that he's obviously he's strawmanning us, but what we say versus what liberals say is liberals say that race doesn't matter, which they do. And the reason we say that's dumb is because we understand that race is a big part of institutions in our systems. You know, we acknowledge that race plays a factor in our systems.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, the problem is that PragerU just kind of misrepresents the left and just says that all leftists are ID pullers.
Well, he's conflating two things. Like he says that if you think the races are equal, then race doesn't matter, which is not the case. Like, yeah, we do think the races are equal and all people should be equal, but at the same time, you know, the blacks in the U.S., for instance, or the indigenous people and whatnot, have been historically in a pretty marginalized and oppressed state, and they still are. So, in that sense, their race does have a significance. They are worse off due to their race, even though they're not racially inferior.
Yeah, race is a social construct, but it can also get you killed. So.
Yeah, I mean, we recognize that race does in fact matter in society. We don't think that it should, but we recognize the fact that it does. And it's important to do that, because if you just ignore the fact, then that's just going to cause more fucking racism. And not only that, but also fuck, I was gonna make another point, but I forgot what it was.
Racial segregation.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, and I mean, I don't know what your guys' opinions on racial quotas are, but I personally am not against. I mean, I'm not for racial quotas. I think that's a bad way for eliminating diversity.
Like, you mean like
how in colleges, like certain races.
Action.
Oh, affirmative action.
Yeah.
I don't know, like.
It's questionable.
I just think it's a very liberal way of going about it, and the best way to go about it is to overthrow the government in a violent revolution and kill all the fucking
it's to me it's a reformist.
Nice try, FBI.
Fucking like in a communist system, like you'd have the same economic. You have the same economic and legal rights as.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is like they are like affirmative action tries to get an equality of end goal without giving an equality of opportunity,
Yeah, I think that's true.
Which is like the opposite of what you should be doing.
Committed to racial segregation, such as all black dormitories and separate black graduations at universities.
Okay, so the reason they do that is because black, it's to have their own space. It's so like
I mean, I don't think it's a good thing, but it is in
the U.S., like the reason they do that is because when you have your own space, you're able to help and support each other.
I mean, I'd still think that like
there's a reason for it. Like I don't agree with it either, but it's there for a reason.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not like fucking racism. Like that's definitely not what it is.
It's not racism. It's just like, hey, I'm sure there's a reason for it. There's a lot he's not talking about. Like he's just sort of saying,
let's just make it.
Like he's just presenting. He's framing it in a certain way. He's like, oh look, fucking separate black graduation dormitory, isn't that racist? Like those things don't just come out of nowhere. There has to be a reason deeper than that, and I can't really say what it is because, of course, again, fucking Prager doesn't like to.
Yeah, we don't belong to like the ID poll crowd, so we can't really efficiently explain why this is done.
Well, I mean, let's just point out that, I mean, if you had an all-white, some kind of all-white group where they say like, oh, let's keep all the minorities out, let's keep all the poor people out, then we can all see how that's racist. But if you have the opposite, where it's the poor people saying like, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna have like our own. I mean, I don't like the term, but if we were to say like, okay, this is a poor people safe space or something, it's clearly coming from like a different perspective. It's not coming from a perspective of supremacy or control or power. It's literally the opposite.
Yeah.
It's still not necessarily the most productive way of going about it, but.
It's not what they make it out to be.
Yeah, like he's framing it. Okay. Yeah, he's just framing it in this fucking light and it's bullshit.
Yeah, no, it's
capitalism. Liberals have always been pro-capitalism because liberals are committed to free enterprise and because they know capitalism is the only way to lift great numbers of people out of poverty.
Yeah.
Citation needed.
Citation needed.
Yeah, once again.
You need to add like a counter that's like the citation needed counter.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll fucking do it. Oh my god. That's so bad.
Ding! Citation needed.
It is true that liberals want government to play a bigger role in the economy than conservatives do. But liberals never opposed capitalism, and they were never for
Wow, for once in your fucking life, you actually got something right. Like,
That's interesting. It's like it's always interesting to see these like wow, for once you're actually acknowledging liberals as part of your circle, which is something a lot of conservatives don't like to do.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's yeah, fucking. Oh my god.
Socialism. Opposition to capitalism and advocacy of socialism are left-wing
Damn right.
values. 3. Nationalism. Liberals believe in the nation-state, whether that nation is the United States, Brazil, or France. But because the left divides the world by class rather than by national...
Okay.
Is this a
tend to
bad
be
thing? Is he
left-
gonna say that this is a bad
has
thing?
all
Okay, so first of all, through the leftist movement in general, you know, at least the most successful leftist movements have had have used nationalism and have incorporated
Well, I
nationalism
mean,
into
they
their
incorporated the national, like the national consciousness into the movements. But is he really trying to say that the fact that leftists value class over national identity, that's a bad thing? Like, oh yeah, I guess it's okay to just, as long as you hate other countries, it's fine. But if you
Yeah,
well,
they-
it's not even as simple as that. Like, I mean, within the context of your, I mean, as an internationalist, you could say that you don't have any problem with any other race, and you don't, you know, you want voluntary cooperation between all countries. That's an internationalist statement
I just don't
to
see
make.
how you can
But-
ever like make a good argument for why nationalism is better than internationalism.
They valued like the national identity of the North Vietnamese when they were bombing the shit out of them, fucking dropping napalm on them and fucking setting them on fire and shit. So
Yeah,
Yeah, the
like,
fucking-
but-
Yeah, they fucking honor the nationality of the Koreans when they're trying to unify with each other.
Yeah.
but I mean, the thing is, like, yeah, you could be an internationalist and you can say all those things, but then within the context of your own country, because, I mean, capitalism is a global system, but still you're going to be working within the context of your own country and you're going to be doing stuff in your own country. So in that context, nationalism doesn't actually mean anything. In your own country, you're going to be, you know, struggling with your own capitalist. So from a working class and socialist perspective, of course you're gonna think that the divide is between you and the capitalist. It's not between you and some other country or something. Why would you think that? Like, you're working within the context of your own country. You're not thinking like, oh, well, I'm being oppressed by the capitalist and exploited, but I mean, at least I'm not like, at least I'm the same nationality as him. Like, how does that?
at least my shit hut has a flag on it.
Yeah, like, at least
Yeah,
I'm being exploited by the capitalist of the same race or something. Like, who? I mean, I don't see that as much of a
the
much of a
point
benefit.
is like having a more nuanced perspective of the fucking world rather than seeing things by arbitrary national divides. We should see things by actual physical class divides, like things that
Yeah, like-
actually fucking exist, because national identity is completely arbitrary. Like, yeah, you can say that there are different cultures, blah blah blah, whatever, but the national consciousness is an arbitrary concept, and the class consciousness is not an arbitrary. That is a thing that actually exists in the material world. Like, there are differences between someone who, you know, like lives in a fucking mansion and like has basically access to like the best of everything, and someone who lives in a fucking shanty town and is like dying from starvation.
Yeah, I'd
Well,
say
I
I'd say
mean, national
here's the thing,
national identity.
Here's the thing. I'd say a poor person I'd say a poor slum someone living in the poor slums of Brazil have more in common with someone poor in the slums of India than that Brazilian has with a fucking
Rich
you
person
know,
in
a fucking
Brazil.
business with a rich person in this fucking country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
always opposed nationalism. So, while liberals have always wanted to protect American sovereignty
sure.
and borders, the left is for open borders.
Oh my
When the right
God.
Okay, so who in here are we all just like in favor of totally open borders. Like, you know how the Soviet Union had absolutely no borders.
Yeah,
like,
I mean that's what the Iron
Yeah.
Curtain was, dude. The
The Iron Curtain was
open
literally like they actually stole people from the other side of the border and brought them in. Like they were that open borders.
I mean, like, let me just put it out there that, I mean, the reason that we want, I mean, this is all like depending on the situation, of course. Like if, well, like between a capitalist country and a socialist country, you're gonna want a border because it's a, you know, it's an obvious issue of security. For example, you don't want the class enemy to just be able to march into your country, so you want border security.
Right.
Also, because socialism wants a planned economy and, in general, a planned system where everybody is provided certain kinds of services. They're all provided housing and whatnot. For that reason, also, you want to have controlled immigration, and you want to have people going places in some kind of ordered and planned manner where, you know, if somebody moves into a place, you got to ensure that they have all the things they need, for example.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you know, in the ideal world where like every country is socialist, we would have like completely open borders for the obvious reasons. But like under the current fucking context of the world, it's just not realistic to have completely open borders, like in any situation.
Yeah, like then when you have many socialist countries, like you can just compare the border of GDR to their border on between West Germany and their border with Czechoslovakia. Like with Czechoslovakia, they barely had anything there. It was just like one guy
as well.
Yeah, it was just like one guy standing there guarding, and that was the border.
Continue.
Writers of Superman were liberals. Superman was a proud American whose very motto was truth, justice, and the American way. But that all changed a few years ago when left-wing writers took over the comic strip and had Superman renounce his American citizenship.
God damn it,
citizen
globalists!
Of the world.
Yeah, God forbid Superman represents all people and he's like super for everybody.
Yeah, too bad. Yeah, too bad he's not like a representation for American fascism. That'd be way better.
Yeah.
The left has
I mean, there's actually some fucking things about him being a fascist, but you know,
Why not
that's
just
whatever.
let
contempt
Trump
for
be
nationalism,
Superman?
seeing it as the
Right.
road to fascism. Better that we should all be citizens of the world in a world without borders.
Okay? First of all, let's just assume that like we live in a perfect world. What would be wrong with that? What would be wrong with the world without borders?
The problem is that there would be no income inequality. And you know PragerU's opinion on that.
There'd be no America. That's why.
Not even a consistent, like, this is not even a consistent capitalist position, because it's like, it's literally capitalist organizations like the EU that, you know, has done more to abolish borders than anything else in Europe. They want to have the free movement of money and the free movement of labor power. That's what they literally say as their like mission statement, because it's a free trade organization. So this is not even a consistent capitalist argument. It's basically like capitalism wants free trade, which involves the ability to freely move money and also to move workers. But they still want to be able to complain about it. They want to be able to complain about immigration. So they want to have the free movement, but they also want to distract from capitalism and just attack the foreigners.
Okay, so I want to make a quick comment about Superman, and he talks about the leftist writers. Okay, the reason the leftist writers did that is because they realize it's not in Superman's character, in his Paragon character, to only care about one country.
Also, it wouldn't sell well in other countries.
Well, not just that, but it's just like I feel like when the people wrote Superman, he was this like paragon of justice. He's this paragon who cares about all people. That was something with the original comics, and they just decided to expand on that. You know, so and what's wrong with that? I mean, even in the comics, he still identifies as American in the newer comics, because I've read the newer comics, and he still identifies with the United States. as
I
his
mean-
as his nation, as his home nation.
I-
Just because he fucking goes around and saves other people. Oh wow, what a fucking race traitor.
Why do you have to keep bringing up these facts? Why don't you just let them do their citation needed?
Oh god, yeah,
I
right.
still do think that there was definitely capital influence behind that. Like, of course, if you have Superman be like, America is the best, then it's not going to sell as well in other countries.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely.
Liberals have always venerated America. Watch American films from the 1930s through the 1950s, and you'll be watching overtly...
You mean fucking, like, literally the most hardcore propaganda period of the United States? Like,
No,
You know,
Billy,
my
you gotta watch out for those jacks.
You know my
over
favorite-
there.
fucking
You know what my
McCarthy
favorite-
era and
You know what
shit.
my favorite patriotic film is? Birth of a Nation.
Yeah,
True. Yeah.
patriotic, America celebrating films.
Oh, that's real good.
Virtually all produced,
Birth of a
directed,
Nation.
and acted by liberals. Liberals were quite aware of America's imperfections, but they agreed with Abraham
They ignored
Lincoln
it.
that America is the last best hope of Earth. The left, however, believes the
God,
left
Lincoln
is
said
the
that?
last best hope of Earth and regards America as racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, violent, and imperialistic.
It's because it is.
Fuck.
Like,
Well, the thing is, like,
literally
Free
is.
speech.
you at the time of the French Revolution, you could have said like, okay, the French Revolution is the best thing ever, and then a little bit later, the U.S. comes along. You could say, well, okay, the French Revolution failed to actually create fraternity and equality and all these things. It was a good thing, but it's still at the end of the day, it failed in its ultimate goals of equality and liberty. With the American Revolution and the American Constitution and whatnot, you could say that maybe those were the most progressive things of their time. Like, you could argue that. Like, I can understand why some bourgeois, intellectual bourgeois Democrat would argue that at the time, but it's pretty fucking obvious better things have come on the scene like since then.
American Revolution came before French Revolution, though.
It did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it fucking yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well,
Yeah,
my point is,
I know
my
what you're
point.
saying.
Yeah, my point is that better things have come along since then. Like, you can say that this Enlightenment era thing was good and this thing was good, but like it's kind of stupid to say that America was great at one point, or it was the greatest because it was the newest, hottest shit that was around.
It's the hottest fucking. Hottest
But
damn.
like that was a long time ago.
I'm reading a book right now called Days of Destruction. No, it's Days of Theft, Days of Destruction. And it is basically it is going through modern accounts of people who are still affected by the racist policies of the racist capitalistic policies of the United States. And these are people who are still alive today. And for frickin' Prager to come up and saying, "Oh yeah, this fucking America never did anything like that," for him to have the fucking gall to just stand up there with this smug little fucking face to say all that shit is just amazing to me.
Yeah, it's baffling, really.
No one has been more committed than American liberals to the famous statement, "I wholly
I'm
disapprove
gay."
of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it." But the left is leading the first widespread suppression of free speech in modern American history.
Wait,
From the universities,
what? Oh yeah, because McCarthyism never happened.
Yeah, and that totally
Well,
wasn't right.
that was a long time ago, so it
Well,
doesn't
he
count.
said that it was the biggest like censorship campaign in American history. Like
He
what?
said modern.
Did he? No, I could have sworn he said. Hold on, I'll go back and look.
It doesn't matter.
but the
It
left
was-
is leading the first widespread suppression of free speech in modern American history.
Oh yeah,
From the
he did say
university.
See, he's clever.
that. Yeah, he's,
McCarthyism doesn't count because it was a while ago.
oh my God. Well, what the
Isn't that
fuck?
still considered modern though?
Well, yeah, technically McCarthyism was in the modern era. Like the modern era is considered from 1900
No,
to
shut up, communist. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
like the modern era
To the
was
tech
1900
companies
to
that govern the
1995.
internet, to almost every other institution and place of work. Of course, the left claims to only oppose hate speech. But putting aside the fact that the left deems hate speech anything it differs with, protecting what you or I might consider hate speech is the entire point of free speech.
Well,
Okay,
listen. Like, I mean, what about like when they're now like constantly fucking with Press TV and constantly fucking with RT and constantly fucking with Telesur and like banning them from all kinds of platforms. Like, I know that they're also attacking Alex Jones, but Alex Jones is pretty irrelevant compared to like RT or like Telesur or something. Like, how is it a leftist position to attack Telesur, for instance? It's clearly not.
Did you guys notice how whenever...
Let me talk about... Sorry, go on your point real quick.
Yeah, have you ever noticed how whenever you go on YouTube and you look at an RT video, it says underneath, this video was sponsored by the Russian government. Like, like what the fuck?
Okay, but it's okay. So keeping on topic. Okay, so here's the thing. I will agree that the so-called left in the United States will call hate speech whenever they hear something they don't agree, because I'm sure all of us have been accused of hate speech when we haven't. And it's usually by self-proclaimed leftists. So I'll grant him. I will grant him this for a moment. But
I mean,
at that same note, we need to understand that we do not defend the right. We just do not defend the right of racists to be fucking racist.
But that's not even left though. It's just the fucking ID pollers. Like, I don't even consider them leftists. Like, I just consider them like left-leaning liberals. Like, they're not even leftists.
And I mean, when Trump, for instance, says that he wants to sue all the lying journalists or whatnot, like,
yeah, good luck.
It's not like the right always defends free speech and the left always opposes free speech. Like, they both, I mean, in reality, nobody advocates like absolute freedom of speech where like you can make violent threats and like just like say yell fire in like a public building or something, and call the cops for no reason, or like call the fire department for no reason, and just like I was sick prank, bro, freedom of speech.
Or your fucking superior calls you a fucking racial slur, that's another thing.
That is what I that's what I
Yeah.
prefer.
Fucking false dial 911 just it's about free speech, fucking bro. Fuck.
Yeah. Nobody was that.
6. Western civilization.
Oh no.
Liberals have always championed and sought to protect Western civilization.
Oh, yeah. What does that mean?
Liberals celebrate the West's unique moral, philosophical, artistic, musical, and
fuck the West. Burn everything to the ground.
Moral. Okay, let's go over this one by one. Moral. The morality of individualism, which has alienated millions of people from each other.
Not to mention that the West has killed more fucking people than the East, like far more. Like,
I mean, if you want to talk about like the philosophical heritage of like the Enlightenment, we all like it.
Well, here's the thing. Philosophy. Here's the thing. American culture's all but abandoned philosophy. We don't give a shit about philosophy in our culture anymore. Just go to.
Bullshit.
I mean, that's ask any fucking university professor who teaches philosophy what he thinks the state of philosophy is, and he says it's in decline.
Yeah.
Artistic? Are you fucking kidding me? America's got like the fucking worst artistic histories in the fucking world, in my opinion. And this is
from an artist.
for me. I'm an artist.
Jimi Hendrix, though.
I mean, the West has.
Well, I mean, he's black, so it doesn't count.
Musical, maybe.
Like, I will say that
the United States
the West does have enlightenment, and that wasn't a thing in Europe. Like, we do have that, but we should still like look at other things and not just only be fixated on Europe, because there are other cool things out there too.
I mean, the problem is that he doesn't. Yeah, the problem is that he doesn't really specify what he means by Western civilization.
Like, is that like Brazil?
America,
is it like Brazil and fucking?
No, like when people refer to Western civilization, they talk about America, most of Europe,
Western Europe mostly.
Yeah, yeah. Most of Western Europe and Australia and other things like New Zealand and shit.
Even though they're not
That's
even like
usually-
remotely the West.
Well, that's just what Western means. It's just
Yeah.
What about
because
Hawaii?
yeah,
Um,
technically, yeah.
Technically, yeah. Even though like the fucking Hawaiian
Okay.
people are like super racist against whites because we kind of like plundered the shit out of their country.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
literary achievements and have taught them at virtually every university. The most revered liberal in American political history, President Franklin Roosevelt,
yeah.
often cited the need to protect Western civilization and even Christian civilization. Yet when President Donald Trump spoke of the need to protect Western civilization in a speech in Warsaw, the left-wing media, also known as the mainstream
Oh my god!
media,
Bullshit.
denounced him.
Bull.
They argue that
fucking
Western
shit.
civilization is no better than any other, and that Western civilization is just a euphemism for white supremacy.
I mean,
Wait,
Where's the lie?
So are you trying to say?
So then, if
are you trying to
liberalism
say
and
that
leftism
Western
are so-
civilization is inherently better? Is that what you're trying to say, Dennis Prager?
Yeah, I know exactly.
Different, why
wow.
are liberals
I wonder. Yeah, it's almost like that's white supremacy or something.
oppose the left? In a nutshell, because they have been taught all their lives to fear the right. But as one of the best-known
should fear
liberals
the
in
fucking
America,
right.
Harvard Law School professor Alan
Smelly
Dershowitz said,
guy.
as a liberal, as an American, and as a Jew, I far more fear the left than the right.
Fucking
Woohoo!
Jews.
Random guy. Random
As a
quote from
Jew,
random guy.
Conservative-
Goddamn
Conservatives.
Jews.
As a Jew, I fear the left more than the right, even though the right literally tried to exterminate my fucking people.
Yeah, I mean, as a Jewish ultra-capitalist, I don't like the
Yeah, but
left.
the
How much you-
Nazis
You're
were
right.
socialists though.
Right?
Let's get an anecdotal guy to say something, and then that makes it true. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
This
a Jew,
random
so
guy
I have
said
to
this.
be right.
Good God.
The left is. I'm Dennis Prager.
Nice.
oh god.
I'm Dennis
Yeah.
Prager.
I wish
My
you were
ass.
not. I wish you were not Dennis Prager.
Good God.
How
Well,
was it?
people,
How was it getting Pragered?
let's see. It was like a stack of bricks falling on my head, and then those bricks had like miniature demons that would then pour acid upon my eyes.
Yeah, that's when you enter the Prager.
The Prague zone.
Yeah.
Fucking the
PragerU.
best part is that I never introduced Raven, so like fucking like in the
He's just
third
good.
video he's just there.
Good.
Just out of nowhere, like what the fuck?
Like a thief in the night. Just keep it in there.